Mars Incorporated. The name isn't as recognizable as Hershey or Nestle, and that's because they don't promote the Mars name very much. The company is possibly most known for producing M&Ms. One of those M's refers to Mars, referring to Forrest Mars Sr. Mars is the last name of the family that owns and operates the company. The other M refers to Murray, referring to Bruce Murray, who had ties to the Hershey Company. A deal was made between the two in 1937 that led to the creation of the candy. Mars soon bought out Murray's share, but the M&M name stuck. Today, we know it as the chocolate candy with a hard outer shell that melts in your mouth, not in your hands. And you're probably familiar with the M&M characters: red, yellow, green, blue, orange, and Ms. Brown. That's Ms. MS. And the candy has seemingly unlimited offerings. You could buy plain, peanut, peanut butter, pretzel, crispy, almond, dark mint, dark chocolate, and even an M&M's chocolate bar. Whether you like M&M's or not, and I bet you probably do, you have to agree that it's one of the most established and well-known candies in the market. If the Mars company produced solely M&M's, it would be enough to earn respect in the industry, but the company runs so much deeper. The first big hit for Mars was the Milky Way. It goes all the way back to 1923. Remember I mentioned Forrest Mars Sr.? He was the son of Frank Mars, who started this whole candy business. According to the Mars website, the two worked together for 3 years to research and develop the candy bar, and it paid off because it was a big hit and really got the company off the ground. If you're from Europe, you may think you know the chocolate bar I'm referring to, but you're wrong. In Europe, what you call a Milky Way is actually more like an American Three Musketeers, another Mars creation by the way. But in Europe, there's something called a Mars bar, which is similar to the American Milky Way bar, which I'm referring to here. Now the Mars bar exists in the United States, but it's not too popular and something completely different, so that wasn't confusing. 7 years after the success of the Milky Way, Mars launched another cornerstone product, Snickers. And 2 years after that, came Three Musketeers. Today, Mars operates several other chocolate brands you may be familiar with, including American Heritage, Bounty, Celebrations, Dove, Galaxy, Marathon, and Twix, among many others. Now Mars is first and foremost a chocolate company, but they also produce a product called Skittles. I mention it separately for 2 reasons. 1, because it's not chocolate, and 2, because it's part of the Wrigley division. I wasn't kidding when I said Mars was bigger than you thought. They're the parent company of Wrigley, whose name you might recognize from the field, but you may also recognize it from a variety of gum products, such as Spearmint, Double Mint, Big Red, Juicy Fruit, Winter Fresh, 5 Gum, Eclipse, Extra, Freedent, Hubba Bubba, and Orbit. Basically most of the gums you could think of. Wrigley also has several recognizable products that aren't gum. We could put Wrigley's wide assortment of products under the Mars umbrella. And it's not all gum and candy for Mars either. They also run 12 separate food brands, most notably is probably Uncle Ben's Rice. These products are a deviation from the typical chocolate products that are the core of the Mars Corporation, but the company veers much further than that. How about pet products? Did you see that one coming? In 1935, Mars acquired Chappie, the canned dog food company based in the UK. In 1939, they entered the cat food market with a brand called Kitty Cat. In 1958, the cat food division further expanded with the introduction of Whiskas brand. Today, Mars has a pretty extensive pet division and treat it the same way as their other divisions, in that they separately brand each product. Some of their popular pet food divisions include Caesar, Dreamies/Temptations, Imes, Pedigree, Sheba, and of course, Whiskas. The pet division even includes multiple animal hospitals, such as Banfield and Blue Pearl. Mars operates so many brands that we all know, but we're not familiar with the Mars name itself. Personally, they have maybe 20 products that I recognized more than the Mars name. Hiding the company name and promoting the specific product brand isn't done by just Mars. Procter & Gamble are famous for doing this with their brands such as Crest toothpaste and Bounty paper towels. Actually, the Iams brand is something that's shared by Procter & Gamble and Mars. Then some products, like Apple, can't promote their name any bigger on their products, such as the Apple iPhone or the Apple Watch. The company doesn't have to work too hard to give the new product credibility. Brand names carry value, and it's an asset that companies could use to establish new products. But it's an asset that Mars has neglected to use. Now at this point, the Mars name doesn't mean much anyway, but if they had attached it heavily to all their products from the beginning, their new products would have something to give them an advantage when they're first introduced. Perhaps calling it Snickers by Mars, or Mars's Milky Way. Their competitors do it with products like Hershey's Kisses or Nestle Crunch. But Mars took a different route with their marketing. Leaving your name from the product brand gives each product a fair chance to new customers. Going back to Apple, some people don't like Apple and are loyal to a competitor. That means when, say, the Apple Watch was introduced, there was a segment of people that would have bought it but were taken away by the Apple name. If someone dislikes M&Ms, they're still equally as likely to purchase Mars's new chocolate offering because they most likely didn't realize the two come from the same place. The biggest advantage of this marketing technique is probably the illusion they're pulling on the customers. The illusion that makes it appear that the company specializes in each product they offer. This is especially important in companies that are competitive in multiple industries. When selecting dog food brands, the customer doesn't want one that's made by a candy company. They'll perceive it as the company putting its real effort into the candy, and this dog food is just a side product. Imagine if there was a dog food simply called Hershey's dog food. People would say, when I want a chocolate bar, I'll buy Hershey's. When I want dog food, I'm looking elsewhere. Plus it might make people think there's chocolate in it, and dogs shouldn't eat chocolate. The Mars company knows what they're doing in the marketing department. Though they may not use the theoretical strength of their company name to promote their products, they do have other resources at hand to establish new brands with each product. Even with the resources of a large company like Mars, bringing awareness and credibility to a brand is no easy task. Yet they've been able to do it time and time again, all while remaining a private and family-owned company. The company has even more segments and products than I mentioned here. Mars may be somewhat unknown, but many of their brands are familiar to everybody. And this is why Mars Incorporated is bigger than you know. Let me know in the comments any thoughts you have on the Mars company, any of their product brands, or anything else I talked about in this video. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.